What if your absolute worst day, the one you just want to completely forget, could somehow turn into your best day? I know, it sounds kind of crazy, right? But stick with me.
You know those days where you wake up and it just feels like a little rain cloud is following you around, and literally nothing seems to be going your way.
Yeah, like maybe you spill your cereal all over your shirt, then you get a test back and yikes, not a great grade, and then you get into a silly argument with your best friend, and it's not even lunchtime yet.
It really feels like you're the main character in some story that's just doomed to have a bad ending. You just can't see a way out.
But what if you could change that story? Let me tell you about a boy named Peter. It all started with a simple knock at the door.
So meet Peter. It was Thanksgiving, which is supposed to be this big, happy day with tons of food. But at Peter's house, there was nothing. No money and no food for a special meal. Peter's dad was just sitting in a chair, not saying much. You could tell he felt like he had let his family down. The whole house just felt heavy, you know? Quiet and sad.
And then all of a sudden, knock, knock. The sound just cut right through the silence. Peter opened the door, and there was a man he'd never seen before. And this man was holding 2 huge bags of groceries and a giant turkey.
But Peter's dad, he didn't look happy or relieved. He looked angry. He saw it as someone pitying them. He tried to shut the door and just said, "We don't take charity."
Okay, now this is where it gets super interesting. In that one single moment, with that one knock, 2 totally different stories got created.
For Peter's dad, the story in his head was, I'm a failure. I can't even provide for my family. But Peter? He saw something else entirely. The story in his head was, wow, strangers can be so kind. People actually care.
Just think about that for a second. It's the same day, the same turkey, the same stranger, but they chose to believe 2 completely different stories about what it meant. One story led to anger, the other led to hope.
So, how is that even possible? Well, it's because in every single moment, we're all making 3 little secret choices that change everything.
The first choice is called focus. Imagine your attention is like a flashlight in a huge, dark room. You can't see everything at once, right? You have to choose where to point that light. Are you going to point it at the problem, or are you going to search for something good?
So here are the 3 choices. First, focus. What are you going to look at? Peter's dad focused on his failure. Peter focused on the kindness. Second, meaning. What does it mean? To the dad, it meant he was worthless. To Peter, it meant people are good. And third, action. What are you going to do? The dad's action was to get angry. Peter's was to decide that one day he was going to be a helper too.
So here's the big takeaway. Your life isn't just about the stuff that happens to you. It's about the story you tell yourself and what you decide to do about it.
Okay, so let's make this something you can actually use. How can you be more like Peter? How can you become the person who writes your own story, especially on those really tough days?
Next time you're having a bad day, just try this. It's super simple. First, notice. Just ask yourself, hey, where's my flashlight pointed right now? Second, question. Ask, is there another way to see this? Is there another meaning here? And third, choose. Choose one tiny little thing you can do to move forward. It can totally change everything.
Because at the end of the day, you're the author. You're the one holding the pen. That bad day doesn't have to be the end. It could be the start of a much better story. So my only question for you is, what story will you choose to live?